Yo, what's up, guys, gals? It's your boy Zay P the IAm. I am that I am, as you are that you are, for we are all that we are. The individual becomes the many, becomes the all, which is the one. That's my intro. I'm your boy Zay. I'm the host of this show. I'm starting to get more into just doing videos, sharing my insights. I've been very in tune and connected with spirit for the past few years. It's been a bit of a difficulty coming out of the closet to share myself and to expose my truth as a spiritual being, as a divine fractal, as an aspect of one, as God, which you all are God. So that's not coming from a place of ego, just saying I am that I am. So last time that I posted a video, I was sharing a channeling that I did. My higher self came through, delivered some beautiful messages. Today I received a gift. I received some new cards, a gift from the universe. So I got this new deck, beautiful new deck, which I am going to start using in some of my readings. So if you're not if you haven't liked my page on Facebook, come check me out, facebook.com/IAm_ZayP. IAm.ZayP. That's me. Hit up the page on Facebook. I'll drop a link in the description. Like it, and you will be able to tune in to get live readings with me while I'll be using this deck, or also to do just actually booking sessions and having longer, more extended readings where we can use some of these mystical oracle cards. These cards are so beautiful and they're so in tune. They use a lot of the imagery from archetypes and just a lot of the historical sites throughout the world. A lot of remnants, a lot of petroglyphs, not graphs, shamanic sites, Peruvian, Native American, different cultures all over the world, actually. A lot of African cultural sites, a lot of the imagery is just beautiful. Such energy wrapped around you is the idea of you emanating your light, you coming to a place of understanding and a place of really identifying and knowing who you are, who you're choosing to be at any given moment, right? So this card is all about the collective needing to take pause, really go and take some time out to go within and figure out who we are and what we are about, how we choose to define ourselves in this moment, and how we choose to define ourselves in life. So there's a reason why this card popped up, so I'm sharing it with y'all. I wanted to show some cool imagery, but this jumped right at me. So obviously this is for the collective. This is the collective message. Take time to pause, really go within. We need that space to be able to connect with who we are. That way we can stop seeking so much, stop wishing to know, who am I, who are we? Stop trying to find ourselves, but in taking time to pause, we discover that we create ourselves. We create who we choose to be in every moment, in every choice, in every action. Now, you can create consciously or you can create unconsciously. If you're walking around the world wishing you had a better understanding of this life thing, wishing that you had a more solid grip on who you are as a person, then you are creating unconsciously. But if you're walking through life consciously, then you have taken time to stop, to pause, to go within, to connect, and really understand who you are. Once you come to grips with that, of understanding who you are, and this requires a lot of work, this requires a lot of self-acceptance, a lot of self-love, a lot of self-care. But once you're able to do so, you're really able to you're no longer seeking and you're no longer looking for answers. Then you step into a more empowered role where you can actually start to make choices that reflect who you have willingly chosen to be. And instead of every day waking up and wondering where the world is going to take you, what life has in store for you, you'll be waking up knowing how you want to craft and create your worlds for the day, what you want to do with your time, space, and in your reality. What do you want to craft? What do you want to create? Because you know fully well who you are. You know where you're tuned in, you know who you're tuned to, what resonates with your soul. Once you have an understanding of that and you commit to that and you set that intention and you reset that intention every day to just connect with yourself, then you always are coming from this empowered position. So this card is telling the collective, all of us, to take time to pause, go within and reflect and really connect with who we really are. By connecting with who we really are, we connect with the all. Again, I am that I am. You are that you are. We are all that we are. All is one. Go within, connect, and you can really connect to that idea that all is one, that idea that there's no God outside of ourselves, but there is, save the God that is within. The God within is within us all. And if you can access your perspective within that power, within that field, now you have a stronger hold and a stronger grasp on your reality and an understanding about the co-created collective world we all live in, right? So that is what this card is saying to me. That is the message that just came through, so I felt the need to share that. But back on to what I was talking about, the mystical shaman deck, the curse, what else? You got the Time Master. Such beautiful, beautiful cards. I am super excited to have these cards. So the truth be told, my guides that I've been working with, I've apparently have a collective of guides, and I've been getting to know them all very well, especially since my spiritual gifts, so to speak, have been enhanced and continue rapidly growing. I've been in more conscious communication with my guides. I'm working with the likes of Jesus, Merlin, which is weird because I never even believed Merlin was real. But as Merlin's explained it to me, he's a great teacher. Merlin is a collective of our idea, of the masses' idea of what magic is about. Merlin is that archetype that represents magic and transmutation. So the idea of Merlin, which brought it from some historical figures, and there's, with most myths and most legends, there's little smattering of some truth somewhere underneath it all, and then on top of that is overlaid lots of stories, lots of different perspectives, and then those stories become historical, where they become very past tense, but they reflect certain messages within the stories that they become timeless to communicate certain truths. So over that time, those characters within such stories then take on greater energy as they step into roles of archetypes. They represent certain aspects for the collective unconscious. So Merlin is the energy that represents transmutation, the magician, the sorcerer, and so he's one of my teachers. So when I discovered this connection, I was blown away. Same with Jesus, same with Eric. I don't know if any of y'all watch Channeling Eric, but he's been one of my guides. I think I called Eric in to be a guide after I got exposed to Channeling Eric, and then I had been working with him maybe more subconsciously until the information and downloads started coming to my mind on a conscious level. But through that engagement, is how I came to get to know Jesus, whom I've known in the past from a religious upbringing, living in New York City, a young black man. Everybody's quote unquote Christian. I grew up Christian. I went to a Catholic school when I was very young. So I had all these little moral foundations, these little moral and religious foundations, but I was always a seeker, and I was always seeking to figure out my truth as opposed to the truth which was being projected upon me. That said, my ideas about Jesus was, I will not say I was anti-Jesus, but I was just anti-religion. And that said, I went through a phase where I clumped it all together and said, okay, this is not for me. Yeah, there's some ideas, there's some principles that I carried with me, such as the laws of the 10 Commandments. I'm not the type that I'm not trying to kill anybody. I do my best to not lie. I do things of that nature. So that, all of that being said, the bottom line is that I had kind of fallen away from Jesus, the Jesus character. I had to kind of, okay, the Jesus character did some nice things and took them as metaphorical stories and did not really think any more about it. And so in the last year or so, getting to actually connect with Jesus and with that energy and learning about Christ consciousness and learning about Jesus himself as an individual, both the historical figure and the archetype, because Jesus is the archetype for Christ consciousness. He represents the energy of our evolution, of man's evolution, and stepping into that next phase of life where we are seeing things from a higher perspective. This is what they talk about when they say, oh, we're going to the fourth dimension or the fifth dimension because we're elevating from the third dimension, and so we're going to these different dimensions. Sounds very woo-woo, but it's just as simple as, if you explain it scientifically, that we're evolving to next levels. Our eyes are open up to understand that there is more beyond what our five senses can interpret, and we've known that all along. We've known there to be light spectrums that we cannot see, right? We can see the rainbow, we can see the basic rainbow, the colors from red to violet. Sure, we can see that. We can see shades from black to white, but we can't see X-rays, we can't see ultraviolet rays, and those are also light rays, right? They are part of the light spectrum. We cannot see that with the human eye, but with scientific instruments now we can start to see X-rays. We can actually start to make use of these higher spectrums. It's the same thing of why the human ear cannot hear a dog whistle. It blows at a frequency beyond what our ears are wired to hear, right? We can hear 20 to 20K hertz, something along those lines. And the dog whistle blows at a frequency of 40K hertz or something along those lines. And so if somebody blows a dog whistle, if you don't know it's a dog whistle, you're liable to think it's broken because you're blowing into this thing and it's not making any sound. But if you look around, then you start to notice dogs all around you are wailing, because the dogs their ears are more sensitive and they're wired to hear much better and hear those higher frequencies. So that the dogs all around you will be whining and complaining. So these are just examples of how there is more to our world and more to our reality, that our five senses, which interpret the stimuli we receive, there's more to it than that. There's more to it than we can actually access with these five senses alone. Once you start to waken up, then you start to hone your five senses to a precision level where they begin to expand. Your ability to feel physically, you begin to feel more electromagnetic energy. You may start to feel empathically and connect with people's emotions, or you may start to feel empathically connecting with people's physical issues, and then you'll see that manifest in your body. All of these things have some basis in science, at least some sort of explanation in science. I won't say a basis in science. I believe that's a term that's used a little too often, because these things are not based in science. We use science as a tool to try to figure things out, but there are so many things that we have not figured out. And as our brains advance, as we evolve and our science becomes more advanced, we're constantly learning more and more things that science can help to prove. But prior to that, a lot of stuff is still happening. Doesn't mean that they're not happening just because our five senses don't register it. A lot of things is happening that we can't necessarily take all in. So as we start to evolve, our senses start to evolve, and then the clairs and other things start to develop, and we start to receive more information, more stimuli from higher levels, or from vibrations and frequencies that the standard human is not birthed to be able to interpret. It's not to say that you will never be able to interpret these things, but this is how it happens. So that said, Jesus comes in with archetype energy of the Christ consciousness, and this is the energy of our evolution. This is where we're going to next. More and more people are stepping into Christ consciousness. More and more people are stepping into their power as far as understanding their divine being. That's why you have so many people who are like really getting into now the law of attraction and understanding that they can manifest things in their lives, and that there's a possibility to really harness their own magic and their own potential to kind of create the lives that they want. Even those who may not actually see it manifesting in their lives, the truth of it resonates with them enough that people are jumping on board with that. This is all also part of the cold Christ consciousness, taking things up to that next level. So getting to know Jesus and getting to understand more about Christ consciousness and my role with that and my role with him, and seeing his connection with my other guide Eric has been really like, wow, mind-blowing, kind of fascinating. But characters like him, Merlin, Shiva, Gaia, many of them on my teams. I also have some, you know, extraterrestrial energies coming in, where it's like I'm connecting with Lyran beings and Syrian beings, and it's really profound and fascinating. So I'm glad to those who joined me on this journey thus far. Anybody who gets to watch this video, I hope you feel resonated to just follow, like, subscribe, whatever it is, and just continue on this journey with me, because I'm going to start showing and sharing more of my knowledge, more of the messages. I'm going to start doing more channelings here. I'm going to start doing, I'm already doing live reads. I'm already offering services. I do energy healing, Reiki healing. I am starting a mentorship program. I'm just waiting for my coaching certification to finalize, but a spiritual, an awakening mentorship program for youth and for people who are going through the awakening and trying to understand how to practicalize that and bring all of this newfound knowledge and these newfound insights and these newfound ways of being to their lives that they are established in the here and now. Because when you go through this, it can be very hard. It can be very difficult. I know I could have used somebody on my path when I was really starting things off. And so I'm trying to be that for others. I'm a healer. I'm a light worker. I'm all love. I'm a kid from the hood. I'm not some sort of heavenly saint. I fuck up. I curse. I'm a regular guy. I try to be a good dude. And I'm embracing my light and my role within this whole gamut, in this whole sphere. So I just want to share a little bit about myself with y'all. Share how excited I am with to receive these new cards that I am going to start playing with more and more and getting to know. And just invite you all to participate in this journey. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Zay P the IAm, or hit that Facebook page, facebook.com/IAM.ZayP. We got some dope stuff coming for you in the future. All right. Peace and love. One.